What's up, guys? We recently tested several charging devices on our channel Tech Brothers, namely a portable charging station, a magnetic power bank, a fast charger, and a charging cable, etc. And now we have another very interesting device. This is a desktop charger, or a fast charging station, or just a charging hub. You can call it whatever you want. It has 8 ports, including 6 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports, with a maximum power output of 200 watts. Its touchscreen displays a digital clock and a real-time charging speed. Using the mobile app, you can set alarms and even a charging scheduler to protect your device battery. Would you agree that it looks like a very interesting charging station, especially for a price of up to $50? We will talk about it in more detail in this video. Let's start with unboxing. So this charging station is from LIMETA and it has the model's name MDSS2. On the back of the box there is a brief list of technical specifications, namely AC input, USB-C 1, C6 maximum output, and USB-A 1, A2 maximum output. Inside the box you will find the charging station in a factory packaging. As well as a power cable and a user manual. That's all. You will need to use your own cables for charging, because they are not included in the package. Talking about the design of the LIMETA MDSS2 desktop charging station, first I want to say that its body is made of matte gray plastic. But it looks like metal, doesn't it? The front panel is glossy black, because it has a touch screen. Unfortunately, it leaves a lot of fingerprints, and there is nothing you can do about it. If you use a touch screen, fingerprints will always be visible. We will come back to the screen and charging ports a little later. The rear panel has a power connector and ventilation openings, because the charging station is equipped with active cooling. There is a picture on the Amazon how it looks like inside. The station stands on 2 rubber feet, so it doesn't slide across the table. When it comes to the dimensions of the LIMETA MDSS2 charging station, they are 140 by 55 by 60 mm. The weight is 410 grams. You have probably seen the digital clock on my desk in all the videos. It is actually not just a charging station, but a docking station, because it has HDMI and RJ45 Ethernet ports. However, the LIMETA MDSS2 charging station is bigger than this one, since it has many more charging ports. Okay, now let's talk about the touchscreen. The charging station actually has a small LCD screen. I think it is about 1 inch. It is not touch sensitive, because I press it and nothing happens. However, if you press above any of the charging ports, an LED indicator appears above it and the screen changes. We can see number 1, which means the USB-C 1, as well as output power and voltage. All ports display the same information on the screen, including USB-A 1 and USB-A 2. I pressed everywhere and tried to set an alarm or a charging schedule, but couldn't find anything. It seems that we need to install a mobile app for this. Let's do it. First, I tried to connect the station via the LIMETA app as it says in the user manual, but it didn't work. Then I found on the Amazon page that I need to install the Polyink app. When I pressed the plus button, the station was detected immediately. After that, you will hear the beep sound. You just need to press the touch screen above any USB port, and the device will be connected. So in the app we see the total power on top, as well as each port of the charging station. By clicking on a port, there is its name, connected or no connected, and we can also set the scheduled output for it. You can set a schedule for all USB-C ports, but not for USB-A ports. Additional functions in the app include operation sound, mute or beep, volume, and a scheduled mute. Finally, you can set up to 4 alarms in the app. By the way, when the alarm is set, we can see the alarm icon on the charging station screen. I wonder what will happen when the alarm clock rings. So we hear the alarm sound, and we see the alarm icon and the number 1, which means the first alarm clock out of 4. You need to press the touchscreen button above any USB port to turn off the alarm. I also want to check how scheduled charging works. To do this, I will connect my smartphone to the first USB-C port and set up a schedule for it in the app. By the way, when the scheduled charging is enabled in the app, we see the start and end times for charging on the station screen. So my smartphone should start charging in 1 minute. Yes, the charging has started. Excellent. And now the charging should turn off in 1 minute. And that's exactly what happened. The scheduled charging works perfectly. By the way, I forgot to mention that the app shows the charging speed of each port in real time. It displays not only watts, but also volts and amperes. So the mobile app is not just useful, but I would say necessary for using this charging station. Now let's check the output power of this charging station. It is claimed that each USB-C port of this charging station has a maximum output power of 65 watts. Let's check it out. For this, we will use a portable charging station that supports 100 watts input power. So the USB-C one provides about 60 watts. I think it is not 65 watts because the power station is charged to over 90%. USB-C 2, C3, C4, C5 and C6 have the same output power as USB-C 1. As for the USB-A 1 and USB-A 2, they have the maximum output power of 10 watts. In my case, they deliver about 8 watts. Overall, I can say that the output power specifications are confirmed. And now I want to check the maximum output power of this charging station. It is claimed to be 200 watts. For this purpose, I will use a second power station and a laptop. By the way, the battery of the second charging station is less than 50%, so it charges at 65 watts power. The laptop also charges at about 50 watts. In total, charging station outputs 165 watts simultaneously. Unfortunately, I don't have anything else to connect to the station right now, but I am sure it will deliver 200 watts. By the way, charging for all devices is stable and doesn't fluctuate. That's very good. So I really liked this desktop charging station. Its specifications correspond to the stated, namely 65 watts max output power for USB-C ports, 10 watts max output power for USB-A ports, and 200 watts total output power. Using 6 USB-C ports and 2 USB-A ports, you can charge a lot of devices from the station. An alarm clock and scheduled charging are really useful features. However, the screen on this charging station is probably its main drawback, because it is quite small and not very bright. In addition, you cannot set an alarm or scheduled charging via the built-in screen. You need to use the mobile app for that. The app itself is very convenient and essential for using this charging station, because you can monitor the charging speed of each device through it. In any case, for the price of around $50, it is an excellent desktop charging station. Thank you for watching, see you soon!